Good day, everybody. This is everybody's favorite devil, Darren the Devil, back with Devilish Scents. I came back from the depths of hell for World Oceans Day. Today, in this episode, I'm going to be going over my 5 favorite oceanic fragrances. If that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned. Good day, everybody. Welcome back to Devilish Scents with Darren the Devil. So for World Oceans Day, I thought I'd make my return and show off my 5 favorite oceanic fragrances. This is going to be a very special episode. I am going to be doing something a little bit different for this channel, and I hope you guys enjoy it. To all my viewers and subscribers, before we get started, thank you so much for following me through this journey. And if you like what you see today, please leave a like down below. If you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. It costs you nothing at all, and I hope I won't let you down with this content. So let's get into it. Alrighty, straight into it. This first fragrance is Davidoff Cool Water Deep. I'm gonna get behind the camera and I will explain all the notes for you guys and show off the bottle. Alrighty, everybody, like I said, Davidoff Cool Water Deep. So this fragrance was made in 2004 by Natalie Lorson. This is actually, well, obviously a flanker of Cool Water, but it was discontinued, and it's still one of my favorite fragrances. I actually like it more than Cool Water. So it has notes of orange, kiwi, cactus, juniper, apple, has a mid of fir, cedar, clary sage, bottom of Japanese cedar or hinoki, Gaiac, labdanum, white musk, and elemi resin. So let me get behind the camera and I will tell you what this one's all about. Alrighty, everybody. So with this fragrance, when you first spray it on, it does have the Cool Water DNA running through it, and that's where you get the oceanic qualities. They don't mention oceanic notes or sea salt or marine or seaweed in the actual notes itself. I think being a flanker of Cool Water, they just expect you to know that it's going to be in there. Natalie Lorson did a great job with this fragrance. I actually don't know if this belongs in the Cool Water family, if that makes sense, as they made many flankers of the original Cool Water. But it is nice how it has that like Cool Water freshness. It does have like a shampoo-y type note, if that makes sense, but it does have more depth to it. I think it, with the green notes of the cedar, the woodiness, and the musk actually really stands out on me, and it helps the oceanic qualities just balance itself out. And that is why I thought this should be in my top 5 of the oceanic fragrances. Just to let you know, this list has no particular order. So that is going to be Cool Water Deep by Davidoff. Please check this one out. It is actually discontinued, but you can still get it for maybe like $40, $50 on eBay. So let's get into the second fragrance. So this one might be a little bit more popular. I tried to go with fragrances that were off the beaten path a little bit, but this one is Oliver by Stranger's Perfumery, and obviously the nose, if you should know, is Primrose. And I will get behind the camera and tell you guys the notes. Now this fragrance, it has notes of petitgrain, bitter orange, mojito, bergamot, sea salt, orange blossom, clary sage, grapefruit, apricot, cypress, and basil. Whoop, there we go. The mid is oak moss, grass, fig, linden blossom or lime blossom, ambergris, pink pepper, and quince. Bottom notes are vetiver, grape leaves, orris, patchouli, and brett seed, olive, mahogany, rose, coriander, tobacco, leather, and sandalwood. And like I said, this was made by Primrose in 2018 for Stranger's Perfumery. So the best way that I can describe this fragrance, even with all those notes, it starts off fruity and kind of bitter as well, like a bitter fruitiness. It goes on to a grassy note, very green, and then it calms down with a backbone of tobacco, muskiness, and the fruitiness stays all the way in there with an oceanic accord as well from the seaweed. So this is one of my favorite fragrances by Prin Lomros. I thought that it was very well constructed. It has a lot of similarities to like summery oceanic fragrances, but it does stand out with the backbone that it has of tobacco. I get a lot of compliments of this. It starts off a little loud, but if you wait about 30 minutes, this would be great actually as an office fragrance. And so would the last fragrance that I went over, Cool Water Deep. So yeah, check this one out, Oliver by Stranger's Perfumery. You can get this off Lucky Scent as well, and it is readily available. Let's get to the next one. As you can see, everybody, the next fragrance is Squid by Zoologist. And with the oceanic theme, it does have like an inky blue color to it, which I think is awesome. I love that color. Now, this fragrance is by Celine Burrell, made in 2019. It has a top of incense, amyl salicylate, pink pepper, ink, sea salt, apopanax, ambergris, benzoin, and musk. And before I move on and get on the other side and tell you what I get out of this fragrance, I did want to kind of go over amyl salicylate. It is a fragrance that is kind of green and fruity, and it has some floral qualities as well, but the best way to describe the smell is kind of similar to unripe banana. So let me get on the other side and tell you what I get out of this. So previous to this fragrance, I was not familiar with Celine Burrell, but with how this fragrance was, I did check out a lot of her other creations. She actually doesn't have too many, but this is a great fragrance. It's very well balanced, but it's very different as well. The oceanic qualities that comes from the ambergris really works well with, and the sea salt works well with the ink note. And also the pink pepper brings a little bit of like spiciness in there, just a little kick. And then the incense brings a smoky quality with that ink that actually helps this like stand out. The ink in here kind of reminds me a little bit of like bitter magnets, I guess, like a magnetic type quality, if that makes sense. And the dry down is actually my favorite part. It is an ambergris, that oceanic inky ambergris with musk. It's very musky on me, but it just comes off so sparkly on my skin. And there is like a leather quality to this. Even though that's not listed, I do get a leathery note in this that really stands out with that musk, oceanic, inky ambergris. So, Squid by Zoologist, made by Celine Burrell in 2019. One of my favorite fragrances. This actually is better in like fall weather. It might be okay for spring, but not really for summer. It's more for like maybe summer nights. It's for cooler weather, and it helps the sparkliness and the dry down kind of stand out and makes it sexy. So let's get into the next one. I'm not going to get behind the camera. This next one is actually well known in the fragrance community. It's Green Water by Jacques Faith. So let me go over the notes real fast. So number 4, Green Water by Jacques Faith. This is, as you can tell, a lot. The color is very representative of the name and what this fragrance is all about. It was made a while ago in 1993 by Vincent Roubert. This is the vintage formulation that I have here that I've had since, gosh, but right before it was discontinued. I can't remember exactly when, but it was in the early 2000s. And this fragrance, it's been one of my favorites. It has notes of lime, green notes, petitgrain, basil, lemon, bergamot, carrot, orange, and caraway, mid of ginger, jasmine, lily of the valley, oak moss, musk, and amber. So let me get behind the camera and I will tell you what this one's all about as well. So with this fragrance, as the name suggests, green water, it starts off very green, and you do get the lime and lemony notes. It doesn't say lemon, but I do get a tangy sour lemon quality out of this. It does present a green grassy petitgrain note with basil, which actually helps it stand out. And come to think of it, it does have lemon in the notes. I don't know what I was thinking, but the basil and the petitgrain helps it stand out in the opening, which makes this very fresh and inviting when you first spray this on. It does, I had to respray this because I haven't worn this in a while. I try to keep as much as I can, even though this is a pretty big bottle, but I've seen the prices that this goes for nowadays, and it's insane. But as I was saying, in the mid, this quickly transitions to a kind of spicy, white floral intricacies that kind of show their head in between the greenness, because that greenness stays all the way through. And then in the bottom, even though it doesn't say oceanic notes, it does have an oceanic quality that shows itself in the petitgrain and the other kind of sour, fruity lime notes, because those do stick around for quite a while. And as I was going on to, in the base notes, after the fruity notes kind of go away, you are left with those green notes that stay all the way through, and an oak mossy kind of woodsy note comes in, but it's also very ambery, well, not really ambery, but very musky on my skin, with those woodsy green notes and an oceanic quality that flows its way through. For a eau de cologne, it actually stays on my skin all day when I wear this. Back in the 90s, they made fragrances different. Those colognes just lasted and lasted. This is perfect for a spring, summer day, and it just kind of reminds you of a fresh, woodsy man that knows what he wants. It's very inviting, and it is a great office scent as well. So that is Green Water by Jock's Faith. Now, if you are familiar with my channel, my viewers and subscribers might remember this one, and you know that Geza Schoen is my favorite perfumer, so I did have to bring this one out for the my top 5 oceanic fragrances. Now, Geza Schoen, he uses ISO-E Super, his signature ISO-E Super that smells different to other ISO-E Supers, and he does have a lot of oceanic qualities in his fragrances, but this is by far my favorite. So let me go over the notes real fast and I'll tell you what I get. So 9mm by Ballistic Therapy, with the nose being Geza Schoen. Sorry, my dog is acting a fool. It does have a bullet in there. I did actually go over this fragrance for my favorite summer fragrances, or my top 5 fragrances it was my top 5 fragrances that I've worn the most for that year. So this one does have a bullet representing the name. 9mm by Ballistic Therapy. It does have notes of gunpowder, bergamot, nutmeg, and cardamom. Mid of red pepper, black orchid. Bottom of ISO-E Super, leather, vetiver, oak moss, gaiac, and musk. Now I'm going to get on the other side and tell you what I get out of this. So this fragrance was very well made by Geza Schoen. It is very it has a lot of intricacies, but it's also very complex and wearable. Some might think that this comes off more male, but it's perfectly unisex. I get a lot of compliments on this. Actually, when I go out, it just works so well on my skin. I'd like to believe that Geza Shoin makes his fragrances preferably for my skin. But the brand itself totally has a badass rebellious quality to it that works well with Geza Shoin as well. But let me go ahead and get into this. It does start off with that gunpowder note. It kind of reminds me the gunpowder note. It not only like after you fire a gun, you do get that quality, a smokiness that burrows its way through, but it also has a quality of a matchstick. After you distinguish a matchstick, it has that sulfuric smell as well. Gizmo, sorry about that. And it really is representative of a sulfuric matchstick, gunpowder, and kind of a chimney note as well. And it's so representative of that note that it makes it complex, but it does calm down. It does get you don't really get the bergamot, but you do get a slight seasoning, if that makes sense. But with that smoky note, it is really hard to tell the other notes, and that smoky note burrows all the way through this fragrance, even into the dry down, which is fantastic because I just love that note. I've always liked the note of sulfuric the distinguished matchstick / chimney. So anyhow, it does go on and gets like a little bit of spiciness, the red pepper, and you do get some white floral notes that kind of work their way through with the jasmine and the orchid. But in the dry down is my favorite part, when you're getting the smoky gunpowder note with the interweavings of his signature ISO-E Super, which makes it very fresh, inviting, and oceanic. And as weird as that may sound, the Oceanic Accord actually works really well with the gunpowder, and the complexity of it just works so well that only Geza Shoin would be able to pull it off, in my opinion. This is a great fragrance. It is still available today on Lucky Scent in the United States. This company actually doesn't ship out of their country, which I believe is in Germany. So if you are in Germany, you can get this fragrance through Ballistic Therapy on their actual website. Check them out. They're a very badass, rebellious fragrance brand that really knows what they're trying to represent, and I hope that they do work with Geza Shoin again to come out with another fragrance. This was dropped in 2019, so I'm hoping that it will be soon. I did say that these top 5 Oceanic fragrances were in no particular order, but I did save this one for last because it is my favorite Oceanic type fragrance. So that was my favorite fragrances, Oceanic fragrances for World Oceans Day. It is very important to save our oceans. We only have this one world, and I think that we should all try to keep the oceans clean them out when you see any trash in there, and respect our oceans, because you don't know how long we're going to be having those. Anyway, this is Darren the Devil with Devilish Scents. Before I go, I did want to go over something kind of serious as well. If you are having mental health issues, I did take some time to work on my mental health, and that's why I was gone for so long. But if you are having mental health issues, please contact the suicide or crisis hotline. You can call 911 or 988 in the United States, 24/7, 7 days a week. If you're having harmful thoughts of harming yourself or somebody else, they're always there 24 hours, 7 days a week. If you are having weird thoughts, or if you just need somebody to talk to, they are there for you. Also, For the LGBTQ plus community, they do have a national hotline if you're going against discrimination, mental suffering, or if you just need support. Please contact them at 888-843-4564. That's 888-843-4564. Thanks again for joining Darren the Devil with Devilish Scents, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode.